All right, it says we are live. I'm going to wait until I get confirmation on my end that says that we are live. So, yep, I got confirmation. We are indeed live. So welcome, people. Welcome, welcome. I am joined by Astronomy Live. How's it going, good sir?
Oh, it's going good. Thank you.
Going good. So I just want everyone to know up front, this is Astronomy Live's idea. I am not the mad genius that came up with this. He gets all the credit. So actually, let me rephrase that. If this turns out to be a huge success, this was my idea. If it turns out to be a total shit show, then this was his idea. Fair?
I don't think I like these terms. I didn't
Yeah.
agree to this before we before we did this, but I now see the bus is parked firmly over my face, so I guess I'll
You're
just take
you're
that.
you're assuming that I'm actually giving you a choice.
Yeah, I see. I don't have a choice, do I?
There you go. Anyway, so the title of this hangout is "We Need a Cessna. Anybody got a Cessna?" So, Astronomy Live, would you like to fill in the individuals about what the fuck is actually going on?
Okay, so this all starts with a little accident that SpaceX had. Wow. Okay. My Sorry, my internet company has suddenly decided to throw a pop-up on my face saying I've used up 50% of my monthly data. That's great. There's like a week left in the month, so leave me alone. Um, so as I was saying, this all started this past weekend, with an accident that SpaceX had while testing the DM-1 capsule. That's the Crew Dragon capsule, the first prototype that they flew to the space station unmanned that Red and I filmed. They brought it back, and they were going to prepare it to launch on the in-flight abort test, where they would test the abort system in the middle of a rocket launch and make sure that it works. Well, before they tested it in flight, they tested it on the ground and found that it didn't work. In fact, the entire capsule exploded. So that's not so good, obviously. And it scattered debris and toxic clouds of gas all over landing zone 1, where it was being tested. In fact, it was just a little pull-off area just before you get to the actual landing pad. That's where they set up a test stand for testing Dragon capsules and testing their Draco thrusters and their Super Draco thrusters. So apparently they were running several tests that day, and on the last one, the capsule exploded. As far as I can tell, the engine.
Kind of went kablooey, and just kind of how do we what's that called? A rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Yes, and this was a rather violent one. In
Yes.
fact, it was incredibly destructive. So actually, here's the video right here. It all looks good. There's a nice little DM-1 capsule, still toasty like a toasted marshmallow, fresh off its DM-1 mission to the space station. And they're about to test the thrusters, and oh dear, it's gone. It's all gone. It's in
Yeah.
pieces and flames,
Yeah.
and
There ain't nothing left.
that's not what you want to see in your abort system that's supposed to rescue your astronauts, uh, in case something should go wrong with the flight. So obviously there's going to be some setbacks there. We don't know yet what the cause was. They haven't said. All that
Um,
NASA.
can I just make a prediction that it has something to do with salt water?
I hope so. I sincerely hope that's what it was. Because uh, for those who don't know, the thing is that they normally wouldn't reuse a capsule for people. They would potentially reuse it for cargo, but the plan calls for fresh new capsules every time they launch people from SpaceX. Unlike the Boeing capsule, I think that situation might be different because they do seem to have that one planned for reuse, and they aren't landing it in salt water. Well, the SpaceX capsule did land in salt water, so hopefully that's all it was, that some salt got in somewhere it wasn't supposed to get to and caused it to go kablooey. In any case, there's debris and stuff all over LZ1. And from
Mm-hmm.
what I've heard, both I've heard two stories. I don't know which is true, or if they're probably both true to some extent. One is that they contaminated the LZ1 area and it's not safe to go there. So they can't really bring back the rocket because they wouldn't be able to send out the crews to it. I don't know if that's really true at this point, but I've also heard that they're trying to preserve the area to avoid contaminating any investigation they're doing on what happened. Obviously, they want to recover the parts to get all the possible data, and you don't want a big rocket coming down and blowing potential debris everywhere as it lands at LZ1, just right next to where this explosion happened.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, they are not going to land CRS-17 at LZ-1. But in a week, actually less than a week from now, they're planning to launch the next unmanned cargo dragon to the space station. So that indicates a couple things, actually. That indicates that they already believe that whatever the problem was had nothing to do with the parts that you would find in a cargo dragon. It must be somehow specific to the changes that were made for Crew Dragon, which makes sense. We think they were going to be testing the Super Draco thrusters, which is a system that the cargo dragon doesn't even have. So that's good news, I guess. But they're going to land it on the automated spaceport drone ship, ASDS. Of course, I still love you, but they don't have to take it way offshore. Obviously it takes more time to bring it back and more expense and everything if they position it way offshore. They don't have to do that here because it was designed to be able to come back to LZ-1 for low Earth orbit missions like this. So what they're going to do is they're going to park, of course, I still love you, just offshore, from what I've seen, about 17 miles from the launch pad.
And let me stop you right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this also ties into something that happened recently on Globebusters. As all of you may know, Globebusters is a show for dumbasses who think the Earth is flat. And in one of their episodes where they were commenting about the Falcon Heavy launch, they were, of course, commenting about how the barge landings, when SpaceX lands on the drone ship, that the feed always gets cut just as the core stage sticks the landing. Now, even though there is a completely valid explanation for why this is, mainly is that the cameras and the transmitter has a fucking rocket landing right next to it, and it shakes the thing to hell and back. Apparently, that's not good enough, but because of this little mishap that SpaceX had with their Crew Dragon, this gives us an opportunity to independently record a landing on a drone ship to show that, yes, it is indeed possible. Not only can these first stage boosters land back on land at LZ-1 and 2, but they can also stick the landing on a drone ship that's out to sea. So if we can get these images, it would put another point of verification in our camp, and it will take away a point of contention from the Flat Earther camp. And Astronomy Live, what have we done to prepare for this little event?
So we've booked a room in Cocoa Beach, overlooking the beach, overlooking the water, right on the water. And we booked the highest room in the hotel in order to get the maximum altitude to be able to see the rocket over the horizon. Now, from the 6th floor, the tallest floor at this hotel, even then, you can only see down to the bottom 30 feet of the rocket. Below that, it's over the curve of the Earth. So you won't see the drone ship itself. You'll just see the rocket sticking up over the horizon at landing, which would still be incredibly cool. And I'm prepared to sacrifice filming the launch altogether in order to film the landing with my telescope from the balcony at that hotel. But what we would like to do is we'd like to get even better footage from an elevated position even higher so that we can actually see the drone ship as the Falcon rocket is landing on it. And this is a very unique opportunity, guys, because keep in mind, normally these landings occurred hundreds of miles off the coast. And you're not allowed to be out there for that because obviously it's dangerous. You've got a rocket falling through the atmosphere. Red, you saw what happens when it loses control. It goes Tokyo drifting all over the sky and lands short of its target. And we've seen before with the first Falcon Heavy launch, the center core had everything under control to the last second, and then not all the engines fired up as expected, and so it went crashing into the water just next to the drone ship. So you've got this dynamic situation where obviously it's not safe for an airplane to be flying near the drone ship as it lands. But in this case, the drone ship is going to be close to land, just about 17 miles offshore. And so you don't have to fly hundreds of miles offshore to try to see this thing. You could see it potentially from while flying still over land in the zone of it, the area near the Cape that will not be in the no-fly zone area. In fact, this was done for Falcon Heavy. There was a plane, a Cessna of some type, that was flying over Titusville or over the mainland area, and they were taking pictures of the landing occurring from their position. And you could see the landing pads, you could see everything. You had a direct line of sight to the rockets as they're landing. This isn't the first time that's happened either. With the first Falcon Heavy, there was a video from at least one pilot who flew way out here to Florida to see this. He doesn't even live in Florida, and flew several hours out here to come see this, and then flew back. But yeah, they filmed the first Falcon Heavy landing as well. Same deal. You can see the rockets sitting on the landing pads from the air. So potentially we have the ability here to actually film footage of the rocket landing on the drone ship in the water, independent of SpaceX, independent of NASA, and with no unfortunate cut right as it lands.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the flames beating down on the rocket that are potentially shaking it and interfering with the connection to the satellite. You also have, if you do some research, you can actually find a paper talking about ionization of air near rocket engine trails and how this can affect radio connectivity. So you've got ionized air around in the area as this thing lands that could actually be acting like a miniature ionosphere, blocking the signal to the satellite. So you've got these factors working against you, but we won't have to deal with that because we would be in an airplane potentially filming this thing during the landing with a direct line of sight, providing independent proof that these things do land on the boats. It's true. It's not a fake. It's not a hoax.
And this is where the big game plan comes in. So just to get everything all together, let me tell people what we have going on, just so that everyone's informed. So I'm going to be filming the launch as I normally do. My goal is to get the launch as well as the SpaceX Rainbow. That's when the first stage does its boost back and it makes this, beautiful display in the sky. Astronomy Live is going to be on the top floor of a hotel, at the highest elevation you could possibly get to film the landing from his vantage point. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine our two videos into one video so that you guys can see the launch as well as the landing. Also with there, we're going to use Astronomy Live's other half for this, and I'm going to give her complete control of my drone. Now, a drone can get the elevation, can get to the elevation needed so that it has an uninterrupted shot. The only thing it can't do is zoom in enough. So what we need, or what we would like, is for people to get the word out. If anyone has access to a plane, a helicopter, something where we can get high enough, I will go ahead and give Astronomy Live one of my Nikons so that he can take images of the first stage landing on the drone ship. He will be in the air. I'm going to stay on the ground so that I can film the launch and the landing. Or, well, not the landing, but the SpaceX Rainbow. So that's what we got going on, and that's what this hangout is about. Not just to inform you guys of what the fuck we're actually going to do, because we like keeping you guys informed, but the other thing that we're going to do is just get it out there that, hey, if you have a Cessna, call me, maybe, because you could totally, use your help on this shit. But if worse comes worse and we don't get anybody who wants to donate their entire fucking airplane to the cause, then Astronomy Live's girlfriend is going to be piloting my drone. God help us all.
So, so yeah, there's that. I noticed a lot of people in the chat say, why not just take a helicopter tour ride? One of the issues with this launch is it's scheduled for about 4:30 in the morning, so the helicopter tour places are not going to be open at that hour, at least not the usual ones. We would have to have somebody who's willing to get up extra early at dark 30 to personally fly us on sort of a personally chartered thing. Most of these helicopter tour rides aren't going to be willing to do that. They'll take you up during a launch, sure, but only if it's during normal business hours.
Yeah, and we're struggling just to get anybody to acknowledge that we exist, let alone, get us a private helicopter, which admittedly would be pretty fucking cool. But yeah, anyway, that's what we're basically going for. We're going for, ultimate flat Earth butthurt. And there's only one thing left for flat earthers to complain about, and that's the drone ship landings. I do know that there is one video where the drone ship was actually able to maintain connection during the landing, but even then, you know they're going to dismiss that as CGI. So we need our own video of this event. So if I still had my jet ski, that would be one option, but I don't. I do have a drone, so we will be able to see a dot over in the distance landing on what looks to be a drone ship, but people are going to dismiss that also as, easy to fake CGI, whatever. So the only other option is to either have a hotel room, the top floor of a hotel, or have someone with an airplane who can help us out with that. So that's where we are. We're hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. If it doesn't work, we're still going to get footage that makes the flat earthers butthurt. That's always the secondary goal. The first goal, of course, just to document it because this shit is fucking cool. But that's where we're at right now. So on Friday, I will be going over to Astronomy Live's place to train the girlfriend on how to fly a drone and not crash it and make me very sad.
Also, I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people thinking, wondering whether we can even get close to this because it's a launch and it would be an exclusion zone. Here's a link to the guys who did this for the previous Falcon Heavy launch or the latest Falcon Heavy launch. And yeah, no, there is an exclusion zone. You can't. It's not like you can go over Cape Canaveral in your airplane, obviously, but there is I mean, if you stay, a few miles back from that, there is space that you can fly over. You can fly over Titusville and generally Cocoa area, I think. Certainly the tour choppers are taking off from Port Canaveral even. And of course, they can't go into the area where the Air Force station is or, a little bit further out from that. But they can fly close enough that you get a really good view from the air. And that's what we're going for here. We're not trying to fly directly over the landing zone or directly over the drone ship or anything like that. But even just flying over Cocoa and Titusville in that area, from the altitude a plane would be at, you will easily have direct line of sight to the rocket on the drone ship here, which will only be 17 miles offshore. And even from 1,000 feet or a couple thousand feet, that'll provide plenty of room. That'll provide plenty of line of sight to be able to see it from any place around the area. So as long as you're in a plane that can loiter up there or a helicopter that can loiter up there for the launch and the landing, yeah, we can get footage of this thing landing on the drone ship, which would be a first. There is footage from Vandenberg. I saw one video from an amateur at Vandenberg one time where they landed it close to shore. They couldn't actually land at the landing zone, I think, because there were like environmental concerns about, I don't know, sea lions mating or something. And so they couldn't actually land at the landing zone, but they parked it just offshore, kind of like what they're going to do next week. And some amateur did catch footage of it sticking up over the horizon, which is the kind of footage that I'd be getting from the hotel room if we have to go that way. But if we can, we'd prefer to get footage from the air of it actually landing on the drone ship where we can actually see the drone ship directly. So if somebody's got a plane, if somebody's got a helicopter or a way for us to get access to one at 4:30 in the morning, we would love to be able to get footage of this from the air.
Yeah, let's see. So at Resurrect, I can get a pilot to take you there if you just pay his expenses. His plane is not in Florida at this time, so you would have to pay for the rental of the plane, one person. Okay, do we know how much this is? And I'm pretty sure that I can just dig into my credit card and make some shit happen. So do we know what the cost of this is? Because we're already paying like a shit ton for a hotel, and I would rather cancel that shit and put the money in his pocket if that is a possibility. And of course, that means you, Astronomy Life, would have to get up at the ass crack of dawn.
Yes.
Way before the ass crack of dawn. At that, before you actually get to the ass crack of dawn, it's gonna be like Bush night type of deal.
Yeah, I get that. So if I'm looking at rentals in Titusville right now, And so you can get like a Cessna 172. It looks like retail is 134 per hour. And we know when this thing is going to be, and it's going to have an instantaneous launch window, so we don't need to, excuse me, we don't need to loiter around there forever and ever. I would assume that an hour of flight time should be enough for this. You take off maybe 20 minutes before launch, and that should give you plenty of time. It only takes about 8 minutes for these things to launch and come back and land. So, that should give you plenty of time to get up there, maybe even take off 30 minutes before launch. We could even extend this and say, we'll buy for the price of the hotel room. We could get 2 hours of flight time on most of these planes.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the total cost of the hotel room?
It's about $300.
Around $300
plus
that
tax.
works.
Yeah.
Plus tax. So let's say 320 just to do whatever. Anyway, so no in the hundreds of dollars. Give me the date and time. Only one person could be carried. That's fine, but I do have to ask a question. Is this going to be more than $350? If not, then we can set something up. But if so, then I'm not sure about that. Astronomy, you would have to dip into your pocket a little bit deeper than I could.
Yeah,
I'm trying to save up for some kit, dude, for auto tracking capabilities because god damn it, I want your quality footage, but with 4K.
Yeah. And for this, what I'm basically doing is I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take the ad money I made off Falcon Heavy and put it to this to hopefully get more views this time with
more butt hurt,
Yes.
butt hurt. And let's see. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, this footage is only going to be on Astronomy Live's channel. I'm not going to be uploading it.
Oh, you're not going to be uploading it?
Well, we're going to be combining the footage anyway. What's the point of showing two videos that are exactly the same?
Okay. I mean, I'm cool with
that. Give me some details and I will ask. Okay, so let me go ahead and give the details. I'm going to repeat these details multiple times just so that we get it. So right now, the launch is scheduled for Tuesday, April 30th. Now, according to the website that we go off of, which is Spaceflight Now, we're currently looking for a launch time of 4:22 in the morning. So once again, it's April 30th, which is next week on Tuesday, at 4:22 a.m. That is the time that we're looking at. We're looking for flight around the Cape Canaveral, Florida area, as close to offshore as we can possibly get. Maybe even a little offshore if possible. At the time that they're supposedly doing the landing. Usually a launch to landing is around 7.5 minutes, somewhere around there. So
yeah,
that's
like about 8 minutes.
And then as soon as the rocket lands, we'll just need to stay in the air for like 15 more seconds. And after that, land the son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So, they also have, I see a lot of people saying, get a low wing, so you don't have the wing in the way. There are low wings available too, at least I'm looking at Spaceport Aviation here, which I believe is at the Titusville Tyco Airport. And they have a Beechcraft Bonanza for rent, 4 seats, 169 per hour, block time 165. I don't know what all that means, but if you're part of the Titusville Flying Club, apparently you can get a $10 discount on that, but I'm not expecting our potential pilot to have that necessarily.
Yep. For 20 euros, super chat, a little help to get high. Thank you very much. And we're going to be getting high in the good way, in the way that produces a lot of flat earth butt hurt. Because remember, that's always the goal. Which, by the way, did you hear it worked? Glowbusters was pissed.
Were they?
Yeah, well, fuck them. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. Also, one person even said that if we contact one of these, airplanes, we can kind of make a deal to like advertise their business on our videos, considering that our 2 videos combined have 1.1 million views.
Yeah, exactly.
So we could advertise their business and maybe get a discount off of it, something like that.
I mean, I would hope so. And if we're really lucky, this is devious of me, but I happen to know my brother's a pilot. Unfortunately, he's nowhere near the state of Florida right now. He's got a plane also nowhere near the state of Florida right now, and he's very busy, so he can't do this for us. I would love it if he could.
Damn it.
But I happen to know that until recently, he couldn't have legally charged anyone a single dime for this until he had his commercial pilot's license. You're not allowed to charge people to be passengers. They can chip in for money on the plane and the gas, but you're not allowed to actually charge them money to make
Make
any
a
kind of
profit.
profit. Exactly. So if we find a pilot who lacks a commercial license but has their private pilot's license, no, that's evil. That's evil.
Yeah. Well, also, at this point, there's something I need to tell you, Astronomy Live.
What?
It's about the drone. If you
What?
use my drone, you can't monetize that video.
Ooh, good point.
So
Good.
just letting you know that right now, you would be doing this for the greater good.
Gotcha.
And believe me, if it's a hotel, I already agreed to pick up half the cost, so I would be eating this too. It's a cost for the butt hurts. But if you make a separate video and you leave the drone footage out of it, then you can monetize the living shit out of that one.
Yes. Yeah. So we need a plane, basically, is what you're saying.
We would need a plane. We would need someone who is not you to fly that plane so that you can make money off of this. And then we need to put that money into an apparatus that will hold a Nikon P1000 very comfortably so that we can have not one, but two laptops, two sets of batteries, two tables, and twice the amount of attention and twice the amount of butt hurt.
Yeah, pretty much. You want to duplicate my setup.
Exactly. And by the way, just so you know, when I get there, training your girlfriend to fly the drone is not going to be the only thing on my to-do list. We're buying some shit.
Oh boy.
We are buying a lot of shit.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, due to the time of the launch, you'll need an instrument-rated pilot. That's a good point. This will be night flying, so we'll need somebody who's good with that. And somebody else made the point that they may need to have a check ride in the airplane before they're allowed to rent it, which is another good point. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, if they already have experience in that type of plane, then they don't necessarily need a check ride, right? I think that's the case.
I have no idea, but one person said, "Hate to break it to you, what you're proposing is almost impossible." Yes, I'm well aware of that. Thank you, Captain Obvious. This is a Hail Mary pass. It's a shot in the dark just to see what happens. We're laying it on the table. If it doesn't work, we go the drone and the hotel route. That's basically it. We hope for the best and we just prepare for the worst.
You need a night rating. Not even 8F. They have hours.
Not even if they have hours.
Oh, if they have hours. Oh.
Yep. So, yeah, it's kind of it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
You guys using tracking on the cameras, because even with Red's steady hands, good luck getting good footage. If not, well, for flying in the plane, obviously we can't be using my tracking software. But the point of the plane is not to get end-to-end footage in the plane. You're not going to get that with the plane. But what you're going
to Sean Hufford, quick question. If I were to give you $300, could you get your ass down here with the Walkira with the awesome 18x optical zoom? That would be an option.
Bob the Science Guy, isn't he a pilot?
Yes, Bob the Science Guy is a pilot, but he's not in the States. At least I don't think. So
the point of the plane is just to get the landing. It's just to get that final landing burn to its touchdown on the drone ship. That doesn't take terribly difficult tracking. You'll see it, especially since it's at night. It'll be bloody obvious. You just point at it, zoom in on it, and get it.
Mm-hmm. Sean Hufford, just a quick question. How much would it cost to actually make this worth your while? Just I'm just laying out options here.
I don't think you could get this under 500. The pilot must have the licenses to fly at night in clouds, both of which are different licenses. Then you are traveling at 90 knots and it could be windy. Ugh. 500, huh?
Flight Sim Dev. With a name like that, I assume he knows what he's talking about, so.
Yeah, he probably does. I mean, I'm not a pilot, so I wouldn't know, but
I'm not a pilot either. Never claimed to be.
Wolfie could be anyway. Wolfie needs to get in on this at some point. We need to get Wolfie out here for one of these.
Yep. Let me get someone else in here. A gentleman by the name of Sean Hufford, because he actually has some equipment that could make this whole painful experience go away. So, yeah, Astronomy Life. Have you ever thought to yourself, "I just want the pain to stop"?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Hufford could help us with that.
Oh, good.
More money for the fund, first ever super chat. Oh, thank you. Hey, Sean.
Okay, a few things to cover. One, obviously, job hunting is major priority right now because
Correct.
bills are a thing. Two, the laws have just changed for drone flights. I think that for recreational, they're a little bit more stringent. I know that they got the 400 foot above ground level cap across the board, whether you're 101 or 107, doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is the airport from, or not the airport, but the hotel from any airports?
The closest one is going to be 9 miles.
Okay, so that won't be an issue. How far away is it from Kennedy?
That is the one I'm talking about. It's 9 miles.
Oh, okay, so that's not an issue. It's still 400 foot above ground level, so if you take off from the roof or the balcony, it's 400 foot from there. Because the buildings are actually accounted for your altitude.
Mm-hmm.
So at best, if it's a 7-story hotel, you're looking at just under 500. Or no, my bad. You're looking at about an 800 to 900 foot elevation total. What time is the launch?
4:22 in the morning.
And okay, the Walkera's got plenty of lights on it, so it's possible to do.
This is one of those things where I already did the math. At 6 stories, you're only going to have curvature hidden by 30 feet. So the bottom 30 feet is going to be covered. So if you can get just 200 feet in the air, that would be more than enough.
What's going to be the angular size of the barge at 17 miles?
That's a good question. But
I'm just wanting to make sure that the 18 times zoom is going to be enough.
I think it should be enough. But yep, I can go ahead and do a quick calculation. Okay, so I'll go to my favorite calculator here, which already has this typed in. Let's see.
Because you got to keep in mind the Walkera has only got like 10 to 15 minutes of flight time at best.
Yeah, this is true. And the top Astronomy Life, how big is the drone ship?
That's a good question. According to my calculations, by the way, the rocket itself should be about 0.9 degrees tall.
How tall is the rocket?
About 46 meters.
46 meters. So 3 feet a meter, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be almost a degree. Yeah. The Walkera should have.
No, it's going to be almost 1/10 of a degree.
Oh, I thought you said 0.9 degrees.
0.088
Sorry,
degrees.
I meant to say 0.09, not 0.9. My bad.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think. Because my Chicago skyline, with the Mavic Pro, I figured out the angular size for that, and it was really small. So yeah, it should be able to spot it.
What's the distance to Chicago?
54, or no, it was 84 miles from where I was looking at it.
It was 84 miles?
And I was only looking at like the very tops of the tallest buildings.
All right, 84 times 5,280, that's 443,000. All right, and what's the Sears, not Sears, Willis Tower? How tall is that?
That's about 1,650 feet.
1,650. So calculate. Yeah, that's 0.2.
Oh yeah. So yeah, either drone will be able to see it. The Mavic will see it as pretty much just like maybe 8 or 9 pixels at best.
Yeah. So let's see.
The Walkera with its 18 times zoom will probably get a third of the screen.
Yeah, it's going to be 41% the size that Chicago was. So, but that was using the drone, so or the DJI. So if you're using the 18 times optical, that's going to be more than sufficient. So that just leaves us with a big question: how much is it going to cost for this to be worth your while?
And when's the launch?
It's going to be on the 30th, which is a Tuesday. That's a week from now.
Yeah, I wish I'd known this was going to be a possibility before you did this stream.
Yeah, but believe us, we're kind of spitballing ideas. This is one of those times where we're just flinging shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Let me take a look at something here. I'm gonna look at flights. And you're in Tampa right now, right?
So I don't know if you guys already came up with these numbers, but just read the instructions according to Wikipedia, which should be similar to OCISLY, whatever, is 52 meters by 91 meters deck size.
All right. Yeah, that brings the angular size roughly the same.
Oh wait, that was the smaller one. That's right. It's confusing. There were actually two different drone ships named Just Read the Instructions. Marmac 300 was the first one. That was retired in 2015, and then they built the larger ones. But oof.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any flights for those date ranges. I know we got them.
Can that piece of shit Ford that you're driving make it?
I wouldn't trust it. Not for that long of a straight drive.
Shit.
Let's go with Allegiant. That's who I flew with last time.
So Jared Strain asked, are we seriously looking for a Cessna? If so, what kind, speed, occupancy, etc.? We don't really care what type of plane it is so much. I mean, low wing would be preferable, but it doesn't really matter. We just want to go up. We just want to go up, and only one of us is going to be a passenger. So other than the pilot, the occupancy, 1. So a 2-seater would be fine.
Yeah, in which case it's going to be Astronomy Live that's going up. I'm staying on the ground. I got plans, and it doesn't involve me going up into the sky. What we're going to do is we're going to combine our 2 footages together, our 2 videos together, and then upload it on Astronomy Live's channel. So I will be the one to capture the launch. He will be the one to capture the landing. And what we're trying to do is see over the curvature of the Earth, because despite what some shitheads say, the Earth isn't fucking flat. So we have to see over the curve that is there, and to see over the curve that some people deny the existence of, we need a plane.
Yeah, as Red Will knows, I have a very big and very, very powerful telescope. I mean, you can just look at the galaxies I filmed earlier this week if you want some proof. But no matter how much magnification I pour onto that thing, no matter how many Barlows or eyepieces or bullshit I use to maximize the magnification, nothing will bring that drone ship back into view, even from the top of that hotel, because it's over the curvature of the Earth.
So Red wants to send his buddy up in an airplane with an unknown stranger while he stays on the ground with the girlfriend. Exactly.
I hadn't looked at it that way.
Well, at least there will be somebody there to comfort her in case something goes wrong with the flight.
Oh God.
I'd be like, listen, it's okay. Now just sign this paperwork that says I get all of his worthy possessions.
Red, it looks like it's going to be cheaper to charter a flight.
Okay. That wasn't my question, bitch. How much is it going to cost to make this worth your while?
Oh my God.
Oh, you thought you were getting out that easy. Oh, I see how it is. No. No,
I'm
listen.
just saying, because with Allegiant Air, there's one flight leaving on the 27th down to Florida. The next flight is on Wednesday. They only do flights on Wednesdays and Saturdays for some reason. Between between South Bend and Florida, there's 2 days they fly. So it would be a Saturday to Saturday trip. The trip down is 119. The trip back is 111. And plus, I'm going to have to. That Walkera is going to be huge for baggage.
Yeah. So, how much is gas going to cost?
Again, I don't trust it with that car. I mean, it's a death trap.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I don't really want to drive it long stretches of more than, say, 30 miles a day, or at least 30 miles in one sitting.
Listen, Sean, and we will all appreciate your sacrifice.
Well, the sacrifice would be pretty severe, especially, if I don't make it there.
But I want Flat Earth butt hurt. Or you could just overnight me the Walkera and trust me with it.
Just like you overnighted me the P900, huh?
You know what?
Oh.
The fact that I am a hypocrite sometimes does not mean that Flat Earth Butthurt isn't still on the line.
BK says reach out to Everyday Astronaut. He seems to have Elon's ear. Yeah, the problem is we can't get Everyday Astronaut's ear no matter what we do. So
he flat out ignored me, and when I offered him my footage, he blocked me. The fuck.
Yeah, and I tried to contact him after the latest.
How dare you get better footage than me that wasn't blocked by some dude's head?
Yeah, pretty much exactly. I offered, because he actually had a poll asking his audience what he ought to do in the future after that whole fiasco with the latest Falcon Heavy, where he missed during his live stream. He missed both the launch and the landing. I offered to help him, offered to use my tracking software to help him. No response. So yeah, he clearly doesn't want to give me the time of day.
Mm-hmm. Nor me. We both could fucking help him. I mean, all we did was offer help. I mean, hell, you want to collab? We can fucking collab and shit. But nope, didn't bother. I mean, we reached out.
Who is it?
Everyday Astronaut, Tim Dodd.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we reached out. He even asked for people to help him out with some stuff. Do you have independent footage of the Falcon landing? If so, please message me here. I messaged him, and he responded by blocking me.
Yeah, I messaged him too. He never even responded to me. And
wow,
is it okay if I tell him about the reason he gave you, Red?
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, he said.
Well, I don't know. Keep in mind, I don't know if that is actually the reason. That's just what I heard through the grapevine.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, his channel is very, family friendly, kid friendly. It's all PG. And so, he didn't want to link back to Red's video with his channel having full of cursing and stuff, which, okay, fine. If that's your reason, what's his excuse in my case? Cause I don't curse on my channel. So
exactly. Keep in mind, I consider myself the anger translator of all the normal science channels.
Yeah, and I try to be, the nice guy, and pretty much, I don't even, go into the flat Earth stuff on my channel. So again, what's
exactly?
Here's my hypothesis: it's the 7 connections to Kevin Bacon. you associate with Red, so you're automatically guilty.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I kind of have doubts. Maybe I shouldn't, but I kind of have doubts he even has the time to do the research to figure out that Red and I are connected. But, because I didn't mention Red or anything in my message to him. It's just I never got a response.
Hey, I just said it was a hypothesis.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to be that charitable to him, but I think I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I think.
Well, here's the thing. When I offer to help him, I would just give him my footage. He doesn't have to necessarily link back to my channel. And just fucking acknowledge that I exist and help me out in the future. You can basically say the footage is yours for all I fucking care. Just get me, roughly the same access you have, or tell me who you spoke with. All I asked for was information. I was going to give him my footage for free. All I wanted in return was information. Who do I talk to get press passes? Who do I talk to get access to, like, let's say, the NASA Causeway, for example? Who do I talk to? How can you pass along a message to Elon? Say, hey, Elon, look at my video that has 1.1 million views. Can you do that? Call me, maybe.
Yeah, and you know, in my case, I didn't even ask for him to link back to my channel or anything. I just told him, you know, if he wants to credit me, just credit the name of my channel. But no, it never even got a response. So I honestly, I think it's more to do with seeing us as competitors rather than
That's my running theory.
Yeah.
Why is it a competitive thing?
Because we do rocket launch videos, and so does he, and he wants his videos to be the most viewed because the most viewed videos generate the most revenue, and that's kind of what his job is. And if you look at Everyday Astronaut's video, he has 298,000. I have 1.1 million. So, yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
I mean, if your footage is obviously that much better, wouldn't him putting your footage on his channel improve his views?
That's the point. We're offering to help. I mean, hell, I'm offering to even relinquish some footage off of my channel for it to be exclusive to his. I just want access. So keep in mind, while the view count is great and it generates revenue, which is what we're going to use to buy some equipment so that I can track rockets with the P1000 as good as Astronomy Live films. That's the main point of these rocket launches, is for documentation so that we can use it for high quality flat earth butt hurt. Remember, the point of all this is so that I can always have a surplus of flat earth butt hurt in the morning, because I need to fill my glass with 3 cups of flat earth butt hurt every morning in order to survive. So if I can get that footage and I can say, hey, yeah, I got this footage, this is mine, and this is what it shows.
I was just instructed, go to Florida, rent a car, fly, or whatever. If you can't, pay more bills. And you know who that's from, Mr. Miller. And
what happened?
I just got a rather pricey PayPal.
Holy fuck. Okay, whose dick are we sucking today?
Thomas Miller in both cases, actually.
Thomas Miller. So basically what we're saying is he gets one hell of a blowjob. Okay. Astronomy Live, how good is your cupping?
Oh, God.
I might be making a road trip. I don't know.
Sean, can you type in the side chat exactly what we're speaking here?
Well, this is why I was kind of hoping that you would have gotten a hold of me before all this came down, because we could have talked about it a little bit more behind the scenes, because you know my situation.
Yes, I did. Well, also I was going to compensate you a little bit for that. Also, Sean, I have a offer for you after this goes off air.
All right. A side jet.
Holy shiznit.
Wow.
So yes, big sucking of the dick there.
I'll break out the nitrile gloves.
There.
Wow.
There we go. See. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, yes, Astronomy Live does cuss, but only on my channel.
Caliban, no, I have not been laid off. I have been terminated, and finances were becoming an issue. Thomas has just rectified a good chunk of bills. So,
thanks, Thomas. By the way,
yeah,
whoever you are, I just want you to know, Astronomy Live will be sucking your dick.
The Three Amigos won't work without Sean, so he's making sure I'm going, apparently.
Shit.
So yeah, that'll help out quite a bit with the bills. Now, what were you going to say, Red?
That Astronomy Live will suck Thomas' dick.
Jeez.
And he'll cup as well.
So let me do some math here to find out how well covered bills are.
Yeah. So I also see that confirmed Rez is giving Sean a Hummer as compensation. Jesus Christ.
That puts us...
I'll give him a car he can actually park. How's that?
Let me check my bank, see how much I got left in there. Math sucks sometimes.
Oh yeah, by the way, Astronomy Live, someone says no swallow, no deal.
This is not what I signed up for tonight. This is not what I had in mind.
Astronomy Live, you should know this. Being friends with Red's Rhetoric has benefits and it has drawbacks.
Benefits for someone else right now, that's for sure.
Damn straight.
Well, that covers, with what I had in the bank left, about 70% of my bills due. That's just for rent, electric, and internet. So that helped out a considerable amount.
All right. Well, let's
sorry, go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's do this. So the information is out there. I'm going to leave this hangout on my channel for 24 hours so that the message can get out. I'm also going to share it on Twitter so that the message can get out as well. We'll have another hangout tomorrow around the same time just to kind of update you guys on what the fuck is going on. Or so that you guys have an opportunity in the live chat to tell us if you guys have found some magical way to make a helicopter appear out of thin fucking air that we can use, or a plane that we can use as well. So does that sound like a plan, guys?
Yeah. Area 85 Restorations asked in the chat. You might want to read that. He was tagging me, but he said he texted his friend who's a pilot, I guess a helicopter pilot, if by any chance says yes, and there's a remote chance he can get a helicopter rented, will his flight to Florida be paid for? Again, like 1% chance, so no promises. Just need to know what to tell him. So
we need to know the price. So basically, our current top dollar limit as of right now is $350. So that's something I'm willing to pay, and that's what I think what myself and Astronomy Life are willing to pay for this is $350. Sean Hufford got one hell of a donation, so we're seeing what that does. But yeah, right now we're at $350. But if he wants the entire $350, yes, it will be his. That'll be cash-o money in his hand if he were to set that up. Rent a boat, go parasailing. I don't think the P900 is waterproof. Just throwing that out there.
Moto Kid says I should disable my comments and get back to Everyday Astronaut. Well, the problem is I can't even get Everyday Astronaut to acknowledge my existence. So I don't even know that disabling comments would do anything other than disable the comments. Like, I have zero confidence that it has anything to do with comments on my channel. Like,
one of these days I'm going to bump into him in a Starbucks. I'm going to be like, hey, Tinkerbell, let's chit chat.
The reason he cannot put your channels on a pedestal because your footage is better. He will have to acknowledge and feature your channels. Well, see, that's the uncomfortable truth, I think, and that gets right down to it. Like,
exactly.
I think that's the real reason. It's got nothing to do, certainly in my case, it's got nothing to do with like language on the channel. It's got everything to do with the quality of the footage. Like, when he asks for footage of the landing from common folk, he's not expecting somebody with a telescope with tracking software that he wrote himself, because then that kind of takes the limelight away a bit.
Nor is he expecting someone with hands of a surgeon that can keep that shit in frame at what? I don't know, 3,000 millimeters.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, and also have the idea that if we're any further away from the water, people could walk in front of us.
Well, and you know, we planned this very well in the last Falcon Heavy, being careful to position ourselves exactly where we would have to be to get the best shot of the landing, and we did.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the kind of attention to detail that we have that I'm surprised he didn't do before his live stream.
Well, this is where I came in, because you do remember that one guy or that one lady that tried to sit in front of your camera. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to move. Be like, oh, but I want to watch the launch from here. I go, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. I'm swinging this way, and you see that telescope right behind you? Yeah, it's going to be looking at stuff, and it doesn't want to look at your head.
Right, exactly.
So I was the douchebag in that, but you want to know what? You ain't fucking up my shot.
No, not when we've been waiting there all freaking day. You know?
Yes, it's that's yeah. Anywho, all right. So I'm taking this hangout off air. Thank you all for watching, and yes, I do acknowledge that this is a Hail Mary pass, but we'll do what we can. We have a few days, and thank you, Area 85 Restorations. Thank you, Thomas, for your generous donation. And if all goes well, Astronomy Live will be giving you that blowjob, and he will swallow. And we're going to have...
Why me?
So we're going to take this off air, and we will be live tomorrow around the same time. So yeah, that's where we're at. So peace out, guys. I will talk to you guys later.